Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
Hello, everybody, wherever you may be. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live, where the world comes to talk radio. Shortwave Part 2 today, live from the Villages, Florida. It's Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. Welcome back. This is Ham Radio Live. It was on their album, Fool for the City, which actually, this song did better than that one. It really did. This song was a top 15 in the world, where Fool for the City, well, it just barely cracked the top 40 here in the States at least. Foghat from 1975 starting us off. And this is going to be a fun show, guys. It's the second part of 5 for Shortwave, and we got some great stuff today. We're going to talk a lot of shortwave history in the program, and I hope you walk away with some stuff that really makes you think, gosh, I remember that, or I didn't know that. It's going to be a lot of fun. What do you say worldwide? We scoop you up, say ready to go, and away we go. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Today is the 25th day of August 2026. My name is Larry Dio. My call sign, Amateur Radio's Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to the program. That album would look like this here. See that? All those 70s and 60s vehicles there in the background. The guy just right in the middle of the street there, looking right over a manhole cover. And then if you go to the back of the cover, they actually open the manhole cover up. See, look at that. It's like he's got some kind of a measuring device or something, I'm not quite sure. But there's the group and a person kind of off in the background just walking a dog there.
No animals were harmed in the production of this program.
I'm not really sure why it's there, but, you know, they chose that for a reason, and that's the story of the Foghat program there. If you'd like to get into amateur radio, the American Radio Relay League would love to hear from you. Reach out to them at www.arrl.org. Just click on the contact part of their page. Tell them you'd like to get your ham license, and where you live in the world, they'll send back to you, local to you, Ham Radio Club, www.arrl.org. Also, a wonderful Discord channel at ham-radio-live. Just click on it. It's free of charge. You can ask questions about the amateur radio test anywhere in the world. You can also talk about your shack, things you want to do in radio, or just ask questions. That's again at ham-radio-live. And a super wonderful website we've got here, thanks to the great Rodney the Great in Holland, and not in Holland, he's in the Netherlands. He's in the Netherlands. Again, he's in the Netherlands, right? Okay, gosh, sorry, Rodney. Anyway, Pop Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey's his call sign, and he made this website, and it's just absolutely outstanding. outstanding, really is. A one-stop shop for you to go to find out information about how the bands are, also things going on in the hemp bands as well as shortwave, and how conditions look as well. Find it at www.arrl.org. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to ask the same topic question and then a different one halfway through the show. So you get 2 questions for the price of 1 program today. So if you didn't get a chance to share your thought yesterday on this, because the show was just a mess. It was like one of the worst I've ever been a part of, and I apologize for that. Our dogs don't get crazy like that. Usually, geez, I've done so many programs. That's the first time that's ever happened. It was a really rough day here, but I wasn't able to get to all your comments, and that kind of made me walk away going, gosh, we just missed out on that. Because you're part of this program. It's such a big part. That's why I do it. So today's topic question, part 1, what were some of your favorite shortwave shows? And if you were kind enough to post in the last program, if you don't mind reposting, I'd sure appreciate it, because that'll help me to address those things. And we actually have a few segments during the show today from people's favorite shortwave shows, which is kind of cool. I'm looking forward to sharing all of that with you on a beautiful Tuesday here in Central Florida. Looks like we're getting a little thunderstorm here pretty quick.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know's on third.
Been a long time since we heard that, right? First up today from Europe, it would be our dear friend Rodney. He's also the moderator of our YouTube channel, and he's a really extraordinary guy. He's very smart. He handles Discord. He also put together the webpage, and I owe him so much more than just thanks. Rodney, you're a good friend. Thank you for everything that you've done to help this program succeed. His call sign's Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey in the Netherlands. Let's give him a customary welcome for the first guy on the show with a meep, please.
Meep.
Nice work, Rodney. You did it. Congratulations, buddy. Happy it's you. Good to see you, buddy. Second up, it's still, by the way, that's continent number 1. And still continent number 1, that is his partner in crime in the Netherlands. That is Martin, Papa Echo 9, Tango India Golf. I don't know why I'm getting you too confused. Papa Alpha, Papa Echoes. Forgive me. Martin, I've only said your call sign now for a number of years, but here we go. Papa Echo 9, Tango India Golf. Hello, Martin. Good to see you. Woo, happy Tuesday, my friend. Good to see you. I hope you and the family are all well. Good to see you. Continent number 2 joins the program here. That's Joshua in Everett, Washington. Kilo Mike 7, Charlie Oscar Juliet. Hello, Joshua. Good to see you, mate. Happy Tuesday to you there in the Pacific Northwest. Bill Myers, Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India Mike with the cool Elmer Fudd emoji, which I love. Man, that's so cool. I need to do something like that. My favorite Warner Brothers character, I grew up loving Roadrunner. It was my favorite, followed quickly by Bugs Bunny. So I got to figure one out that maybe I can put like the back of Roadrunner and possibly the front of Bugs Bunny to have the perfect little emoji right there. Good to see you, Bill. Thanks a lot for the talk yesterday. It's good to see you today. A very happy Tuesday. Great story. Bill and I shared some cool stuff yesterday. It was a nice conversation. Good to see you, my friend. Barry Wendon, who's also a dear friend, Golf 6 Juliet Mike X-Ray. He is in the great United Kingdom. Hello, Barry. Welcome to the program. It's always a pleasure when you're here. Jeff is here as well. Let me start over. Hello. Victor Echo 3, Whiskey Juliet. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Yes. Goodness sakes. And Tom is here from Bulgaria. Look at Tom. He's looking sharp today. Yes. Lima Zulu Stroke, Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa. For those that wonder the Lima Zulu Stroke part, that's the prefix for Bulgaria, where Tom is under the SEPT agreement. You'll learn about that in ham radio license tests. The SEPT agreement allows us to go into most European, not all, but most of those countries and use the privileges that we have, but can't exceed the privileges of the country they're working in. So, for example, let's say, in Bulgaria, the power level is 1,000 watts, transmit power, right? But here in the States, Tom can use 1,500. Tom would have to use 1,000 because he's in Bulgaria, and therefore he's under that rule system. So, Tom, good to see you and a very happy day to you, my friend. Thank you for coming. Rodney, thank you for posting the channel rules. I appreciate that. You know, I think a really good thing, wow, I must have shot, I can't tell you how many, just short videos to kind of explain the program a little bit to you guys, because it's important we share some stuff here, right? I do this because I really wanted to help people get licensed, because I wanted to get licensed really bad. I mean, really bad. And I waited too long. I just really did. I could have been in 20 years sooner if I'd known they took Morse code out. I couldn't do code. I tried to the best of my ability. I couldn't do it. So when I got my license, I started thinking there's got to be other people out there who want to get licensed as well, right? And so I started this channel. And I have been so blessed to have some great people come alongside and follow along the ride, you know, like Rodney and Tom and Andy and gosh, and there's like 3 or 4 Andys and, you know, Bill and all these wonderful people, Jeff and Aaron in Saskatchewan, all these people, Roger in Spokane. I could go on and Rod Q in Los Angeles. Rob's been here a long time. So many good friends. And I'm going to forget someone. I don't want to. Martin in the Netherlands and Core and all these people. Gosh, you guys, it's been quite a run. And I wanted to say that the comment section is for things that are relevant to the program. Okay, there's times to maybe post something that's kind of funny or cute. I get that, right? But if you don't see your comments being posted on the screen, there's a reason for it, okay? And that's because of me. I'm looking at things and not posting. Yesterday, there's some things I need to do to fix what happened yesterday that I didn't like yesterday's show for. First thing, quick. We don't want to give anyone the wrong impression about ham radio licensing. This show exists to help people come into amateur radio and license up, right? You can't get a higher level license without passing the lower license. Here's the big reason why. In the States, the FCC issues the licensing, right? Well, the way that door opens up to you to get the FRN number, which is your private coded number for your specific license, your ham license, the FRN number, that starts when you get the first level license here in the States. That would be novice if it's been 25, 26 years ago, or the technician license, which in 1991 became no code, which is now 35 years ago. So that's how you get into the FCC database. You don't start at general or advanced extra, amateur extra. I sat and did 3 license exams, passed all 3, but I went to the system as a technician, then general, then amateur extra. They have to get you in, and that's through the entry-level license. That's important because that was said yesterday, and it's not true. Second thing, we do not have an attrition rate of losing technician licensees, which is the entry-level license here in the United States. This is so important because there's over 500,000 of those people. There's a ton of them, guys. Sorry, I could be wrong. I think it might be 430,000. I'm wrong. I apologize. But that's still a lot of people. And we're not losing 80% of those people. It's not happening. That is untrue. And when I was finished with yesterday's show, I did what probably people should do before they say, hey, you should be doing a segment on the fact of the attrition rate of the technician licenses here in the States. No, what should be happening is you should verify that it's true or not before asking me about it, because you can do that simply from your phone, right? Simple. Ask your phone. Just get right here. You'll find out if it's true or not within 10 minutes. But don't put stuff on the chat saying, well, you should be doing this about that because it's this, and that's 80% attrition rate, and that's real. Well, where'd you get that from? Oh, it's the chatter I heard. The chatter you've heard? Go talk to the chatter. Don't bring it in our comments, please. I don't want to lose you. I don't want you guys to be bumped out of the channel, and I certainly don't want to have people not be put on the screen. I don't want you being ignored. That's the last thing I want. So I'm asking you two things. Tell the truth. And please, if you've got an idea for a segment or you're worried about a specific thing in ham radio, just email me. It's simple. Email me and we'll talk about it. And if we can do a segment, holy cow, I'd be happy to do so. Our email is always open to you, and I'm always honored to reach out to everybody. I answer all my emails that I can. So info@hamradiolive.org if you've got a question like that. I don't want any more shows going off the rails like that. Please, thank you for listening to this public service announcement. It's over now. I sat there and I did like 6 or 7 recordings of this to make it under 3 minutes. I'm like, it'll never happen. I'll just speak it and hopefully make sense. We want you to stay. We don't want you to leave in the channel, but we also don't want to have stuff here that's incorrect. Why? Because it's a channel to invite people to get their license. So we don't want stuff in the chat that's got things that might say, oh gosh, if there's an 80% attrition rate, why do I want a hem license? I'll go do GMRS and it's over. No, there's not an 80% attrition rate. And a lot of technicians license up because that's where HF privileges start. So thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Andy New joins us from the United Kingdom. He's in Bristol. Mike 7, Charlie November. Mike is here from Jacksonville. Kilo Golf 2, Mike. Watch out for that guy right there. He's one of the hottest DXers in North America, and he's excellent at what he does. Mike, welcome. Good to see you. Mike is really, really good at what he does on ham radio stuff. Andy Cowley, welcome. Good to see you, and always a pleasure. He's a brother of many, and Andy's in the United Kingdom. Welcome to the show, Andy. Always a pleasure, buddy. Good to see you. A nice person, too. Gosh, Casey's back. Wow, it's been forever. Kilo Charlie A, B, C. Love Casey. Boy, we love Casey. Today is Tuesday, the rest of the week. Yes, it's Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. This just in. Casey with an update. The rest of the week includes Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Missed you, Casey. It's good to have you back. Where have you been? Are you okay? Gosh, I've missed you. You've been a ball to be with and hang out with. So thanks for coming today. And by the way, gosh, Bill, I love that. I love that new emoji. And Gunter joins us from the shores of the Rhine River. Look at this. This is great. Delta Kilo 5, Oscar November Victor. Hello, Gunter. Good to see you. Let's skedaddle into the HF forecast. It's powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. Look at that solar flux index number. Yep. 143. Now, the sunspot number didn't come up huge, but the SFI did. It's because we've got a higher X-ray number, C1.8 today. Big difference from yesterday. I expect our solar flux index numbers to come up a little bit more, and that's if nothing comes on the western limb in the next 48 hours. But I think we're in for another sunspot region. Here's why we have the numbers coming up. This is similar, but not totally similar to the triplets we had in March when we got to over 200 again. Oh, man. See, look at the colors. All 3 of those sunspots, dead center, have orange in them. Just a little spot of orange in 4515. But all 3 of them are very active, and they will continue to pump up our solar flux index, which is great. Maximum usable frequencies, this will bring 10 meters north. Not so much today, but tomorrow we should see 10 starting to come up. 12 is definitely hitting north, and 10 will be right behind it. Here's a look at the northern hemisphere. Gives you a good close look at that. See southern Spain and Portugal right there, about 27 megahertz. We're just a little bit shy of that 10-meter band. And we'll talk about that during the next segment here. Southern Hemisphere, pretty much the same. Look at right in the center of the Atlantic Ocean there, right off the Africa coast. It's just a little circle of 10 meters going around and around and around. Excuse me. Bless its little heart. 10 meters. Playing a little game there off of the Cape Town and Namibia coast of Africa. And people in the south, because it's winter, they're still getting 10 meters and still getting great conditions down there. Your HF forecast, powered by ICOM, rising SFIs through Wednesday. QS Baker, so expect some fading on the bands. Noise floors S0 to S2 this week. Best DX in the north, 20, 17, 15, and 12. If you're below 40 degrees north, you'll get 10 meters, and it'll only be a short time. Really won't last all afternoon. Catch it right around 1 o'clock. Work it while you can, and then, go back to 12. Best DX in the southern hemisphere, still 20 through 10 meters. Nighttime ham radio forecast, rising solar flux index numbers with some fading at times. Noise floors S0 to S2 through Wednesday. Nighttime bands 160, 80, 60, 40, and 20. Shortwave DXers, daytime, good conditions. You've got good solar flux index numbers plus quiet noise floors. Brings you excellent DX on shortwave. 31 meters, 25, 22, 19, 15, and 13 during the day. Nighttime shortwave, rising solar flux index numbers. Noise floors S0 to S2, that's quiet. In the very least, it's inactive to quiet through tomorrow night. There'll be some occasional fading on signal. Shortwave nighttime from 120 meters down to 19. And the top DX bands will pick 41, 31, and 25. I got another question from Tom. And this is an interesting, not our Tom here, Tom in Annapolis. And he asked again, he said, well, I didn't understand when you made that comment during the solar weather forecast about nighttime, why, like, for example, the 15 and 13 meter bands can't be heard well at night. And I said, it's a good question. Let me kind of show you. And I'm trying to find the right slide. This is the one thing I forgot to do, and I will find it because this is way too important to miss out on. The ionosphere at night changes drastically from what it is during the daytime, right? So take a look. When you take a look at this, Tom, take a look at the Earth. That's right in the center there, kind of at the bottom left, a little like gas, kind of off-centered from the sun. But it's facing the sun. It's facing daytime. And these are the layers of the ionosphere during the day, right? D layer, which absorbs all frequencies below 10 megahertz to the most part. It doesn't take all of the power away from them, but it does take most of the power away. The remaining energy that goes through the D layer, which is significantly attenuated, we call that attenuation. You might think of it as weakening it. Then it goes up to the E layer or the F1 or F2 layer, and then it refracts back to Earth. That's how it works. But at night, the D layer is gone. So you think, okay, 13 meters should work just great. Here's the problem. When you get way up on, say, about 20 plus megahertz, right? The problem is during the nighttime, that frequency just doesn't work whatsoever at night because the frequency at 13, at 21 megahertz, the maximum usable frequency at night goes down. It sounds like it should go up because you don't have the sun's energy there, right? But that's the key. The sun's energy is what lets frequencies 20 megahertz and higher, even, probably, let's figure 14 to 15 megahertz and higher. It doesn't allow those signals to go very far at night because it needs more energy from the sun to refract the signal back. That's why at night, 13 meters just doesn't work because it's missing that charge that the sun gives it during the daytime. Otherwise, that's why you hear it during the day, because the sun's charging it up and the signal hits it, refracts down, you hear it on your shortwave radio. That's the reason, Tom. So if you have any other questions on it, just hit me up. I'll be happy to do the best I can to share the answer why in the program. And I thank you very, very much for reaching out to the show on that. You reach me at info@hamradiolive, like Tom in Annapolis, Maryland did a second time. And Tom, it was great to hear from you. Thank you. Those kind of emails I like to see because it's a good question, because I mentioned the nighttime and why they don't work. Sorry, the daytime frequencies. Wait, no, reverse it. The nighttime I answered, but I didn't appropriately answer the daytime at night frequency question. And Tom called me on it. And I thank you for that. I sincerely do. If you have something to share on the show, info@hamradiolive.org is a great way to do it. Just like our dear friend Kevin did in Iowa. He really did. And I'm going to share this with you real quick. I got the video and I realized I don't think I sent it up, but I want to show it to you because it's really an interesting learning example of of how to work, let's say, a pileup if you've got low power. So, example, okay, if you're running something like a G90 or maybe an ICOM 705, right? You don't have a ton of power usually on board. Might be 5 watts on the G90, I think it's 20 or 25, right? So you're still at lower power levels. But there are ways you can get through on a pileup. Kevin, Kilo Zero, Kilo Lima Bravo in Iowa did a great job explaining how to get through on a pileup if you're running low power. Take a look at this, and I'll credit the channel just a second.
Thanks for Florida. Kilo Zero, Kilo Lima Bravo, parks on the air, standing by. Victor Hotel Station again.
Kilo Charlie 3, Juliet Victor Hotel.
Kilo Charlie 3, Victor Juliet Hotel. Let's see, Thomas in Pennsylvania, how are you tonight?
Doing well. You're coming in here loud and clear. I got you 5-9 here in the South Central Pennsylvania.
Roger, and you're 5-9 Iowa. Good audio, good signal there, Thomas. Congratulations, good job.
Thanks very much. I'm only running 5 watts out of an IC 705, so I'm glad we're making it. Thanks for being out there and activating 73.
You bet. That's beautiful. Nice job on dragging your call sign to the end, and I heard the last 2 letters on 5 watts QRP. Great job, over.
Do what I can, right? Thanks again.
Yeah, when you're QRP, you got to kind of learn those little techniques to do that, and it worked out for you that time because I got a pretty good pile up and you came through. So good job on the 5 watts QRP, Thomas. We'll say 7-3 and have a good night. Kilo Zero, Kilo Lima Bravo, parks on the air.
Okay, so what Kevin did was when he was listening to the pileup, the guy that had that last, you heard the suffix, him reread the suffix, he gave his call sign toward the end of what he heard the pileup doing, and then he read his call sign slow. Really important to state, you have to give your full call sign. I know a lot of people don't. They'll go Kilo 7, for example, using my own example, Kilo 7, and let it kind of sit out there. What Kevin's talking about is to use your call sign like you're supposed to, but let it go, just say it slow. So the last digit the last letter or 2 or 3 have a chance to be said slowly. That way they catch right at the very end. And in a pileup, that usually gets you the call. Kevin, Kilo Zero, Kilo Lima Bravo, master of QRP, thank you. Excuse me. Great comment. Loved that because it's right. When you can hear the call, you can make the call. All right, today's topic question, part 1, has to do with your favorite shortwave show. Not station, not country, but show. Love to get your comments, and we'll see about getting the answers on that. And Gunter, by the way, great to see you. And also, Gunter says only 4 minutes late to the show, finally. Well, that's pretty good. I like that. Let me find it here real quick. I thought it was an answer. Here we go. Jeff, any show that wasn't a preacher show. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat, guys. I apologize. They're still playing Brother Stare on the radio. It's just astounding to me, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. He's been on shortwave for decades, and if you've ever heard him, he's got like the kind of shrill voice, and he goes on and on. He's usually quite loud, you know. He's a very passionate guy. He just is. But it's interesting he's still there. I mean, I would think Billy Graham, sure, huge, famous evangelistic preacher, but Brother Stare still on shortwave after all these years, man. Well, sometimes I make a little light of that on Over the Horizon Radio. Kind of interesting stuff. Bill and Rodney, thank you for dropping the links. I appreciate that. That's very nice. Guys, thank you. Wow, holy macarolis. You guys are doing all of them here. And there's Core. It's good to see you. It's a bit late, but I'm here. It's a great day to see you. Hello, Core. That is New York State in the house. Hi, Core. Good to see you, buddy. Call sign Kilo Echo 2 Golf Delta Delta. You know, that echo's frozen now. It's never going to leave my voice. Echo Kilo Echo 2 Golf Delta Delta. It's good to see you, buddy. Sorry I messed up your call. It said Kilo Oscar. That was bad. Favorite shortwave programs from the past. Dallas Anderkin. There's a name. Good to see you, Dallas. Kilo Charlie Sierra Zulu Kilo. Good to catch you too, buddy. He said, got home from work early. Dallas, it's an honor to say hello. It's been a while. Thanks for coming back, buddy. Good to see you. Man, how have you been? On the radio much? Do anything with the radio? Gosh, it's great to see you. Goodness sakes. And Rodney with a news update regarding the sun. On August 25, which is today, the sun produced a powerful M6.98 class flare, Earth-facing active sunspot region 4513. The eruption was accompanied by a coronal mass ejection that could possibly graze Earth. Now, if that happens, then, what we have happen here could be a radio blackout or, at least a big attenuation of signals. And it always will start with the higher bands going down. It's interesting how that works. You would think it would charge the D layer so much that everything else wouldn't work. In a way, it kind of works that way. Just a second. I didn't really have to drink that much, but I kept on hitting the button to mute so I could clear my throat again. And it's like, come on, hit the button, make it work. Sorry about that. But yes, if this comes, it'll be in the next couple of days. And if it does, it'll be for a period of time, could be 12 hours, could be a little bit of a radio blackout. Ronnie, thank you for the update. I appreciate that very, very much. Ronnie says, initial models indicate the coronal mass ejection could graze Earth on Friday. Yeah, there you go. Just a few days. Could be good. Good for DX right before the event. Yes. How that works is the sun, before the event strikes Earth's ionosphere, we get a big bump. I mean, like all of a sudden, 10 meters, 6 could be open for a short period of time, and then bang, things just go. So watch that. Thursday night, late UTC time, could be whatever time could be, let's say, for example, it's 6 UTC. What time was it today? It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yep. So let's say, what time did it hit? Does he say the time on that? Let's see. No. So let's just say right before, in fact, here, let me show you this. I can make this work. I have a way to do this. Let me move you to a share screen, and then I'm going to get you to Solar Ham's site here real quick, and we'll get a good view of that. So we'll have an idea of when we have this. Okay, here we go, gang. Let's take a look. So here is that event. It's right here, right? And that was at 10:05 UTC, right? So at 10:05, the flare hit at 7, M7, and that was at 10:02, all right? So right about between, say, 8 UTC and 12 UTC on Friday, sometime in there, is when we're going to have this possibly come. This is why you're seeing also the geomagnetic forecast coming up for Wednesday. It could be higher Thursday, the 28th, and the 29th could be, pretty big. So what we're seeing is we'll see maybe a significant increase in propagation sometime between, say, let's go with, if it's at 10, let's say 4 hours back, so 6. Right around 6 UTC on Friday, there's a great opportunity for improved propagation. And when I say improved, it's huge. It's almost like gray line, but it's a little better because the ionosphere is supercharged at that point. The particles from the coronal mass ejection are approaching, but they haven't messed the ionosphere up yet. that happens right when it goes by Earth. Rodney, nice comment. Great catch, and thank you for the update. Thank you very, very much. I need to get this off my screen. It's driving me nuts. It's black. It's like all this black behind the screen. But that's also on HAM tests too. Before a coronal mass ejection comes by Earth and attenuates our signals, a significant improvement in HF propagation happens. That'll be on HAM tests. All right, your favorite shortwave shows. We're going to talk about this with Martin in the Netherlands first. I used to listen to the pirate radio stations in the North Sea, Radio Veronica and Radio Mi Amigo. My favorite program was the Top 40 Justin Drawler show. Loved that, Martin. Did you also listen to Radio Caroline? That was huge back then. Now, they were not in the North Sea. They were off the coast of England, but still, the one he's talking about, Radio North Sea, that was the first pirate station that was in Europe. Radio Caroline was second. Interesting stuff. Love that. Dennis is here. That means the state of Iowa joins us. Good to see it. Kilo Fox Zero, Romeo Lima X-Ray. Happy Tuesday, my friend. He says, what are we up to today, gang? Shortwave today. Cora says, I like the Radio London DJs, Tony Blackburn and Kenny Everett. There's some fun stuff, huh? Wow. You know, there was an interesting story. We played this on the show when we did the pirate radio segment. We were talking about Radio Caroline, and some of those Radio Caroline jocks, they were huge in Europe because they were different than the BBC. The BBC was like very, very stiff, and they didn't know how to present stuff as well. And the Radio Caroline, the Radio North Sea stuff, that was more like American Top 40 that came over, and it was so popular. It really was. Core, that's a very cool statement. Thank you. Tony Blackburn, Kenny Everett. A note in here has been made. Mike says, that's one of my methods to beat a pileup. Works 95% of the time, and I throw my whole call out, not just a partial. Now, for new hams, what he's saying, pileup, imagine, let's say 20 ham stations are trying to contact one station, right? So what Mike does, and he says it works almost 100% of the time, is he'll read his call sign slow and make it drowned out at the end. So it'll stay going on at the end. So let's say you have 19 people giving call signs at the same time, some doing it multiple times. Mike will just go, Kilo, Golf, 2, Mike, Mike. And then what happens is the station that's got the pileup, all the people calling him, hears the Mike, Mike. And he'll say, Mike, Mike station, come again. Then Mike gets the call. Mike, great comment. Thank you for that. Brilliant. Brilliant. Gunter almost drove 55 to make it to the show on time this time. Bless your heart, man. Gunter, it's nice to see you today. Thank you for coming on a Tuesday show. Andy says, in the past, I found that including QRP in your call sign often gets a response. That's an interesting point. It really is, because what happens is a lot of stations, when they've got a lot of people calling, if they hear QRP, will stop all the guys who got the power. It could be your power, could be 50, might be 25. It could be 100 watts. Maybe it's an amplifier station. But that person that says QRP at the end of the call often gets in. We're getting some great comments on this show. Andy, thank you. Man, there's another good response. Could be comments to the show here, guys. Good job. Lima Bravo number 4 Foxtrot Hotel. Welcome. It's good to see you. My name's Larry Dio. My call sign here is Kilo 7 Hotel November. Welcome to Ham Radio Live. It's an honor to have you here. Again, thank you very, very much for coming. Appreciate you. Yep. Now, I want to say this right. This is Bob in Norway, and Bob is in Sandnes, Norway on the west coast, and he posts YouTube videos about portable ops. Catch him on YouTube right there. Call sign Lima Bravo 4 Foxtrot Hotel. go take a look at his channel, give him a subscription, a thumbs up. Would you do that? That's a really nice thing. Bob, it's nice to meet you, Bob. Thanks for coming back. Wow, it's a good day today. Thanks, guys. Dennis in Iowa. Oh, it has to be Sky King, Larry. There is a old show from the days of radio, Sky King. Wow. Where did you listen to it at? I'd be interested. That's neat. I love stuff like that. Thank you very, very much. Bob says, I don't think I ever listened to shortwave. We had fully transitioned to FM when I grew up in the 90s. Makes total sense. Now most of it's digital audio broadcasting with a tiny bit of FM for local stuff. Neat comment. It's nice to have you here, Bob. Thanks for joining the show. Thank you. Truly, thank you. Spike has rejoined the conversation. Great to see you. Welcome, my friend from Montana. He said XERF, 250,000 watts with Wolfman Jack. There you go. It wasn't shortwave, but gosh, they had, in those days, here in the States, the border blasters, there was 10 in total, if I remember my history back then, and I'm pretty sharp on that stuff. There were 10 border blaster stations, and XERF was stronger than 250. It was 500,000 watts. No kidding. They had a one-of-a-kind transmitter. Get this, one guy knew how to use it. One guy knew how to fix it. That was it. Now, as the years progressed with Wolfman Jack on from midnight till 6 a.m., and keep in mind, he got to sell everything. I mean, he'd have commercials for everything from like greeting cards to burial plots to headstones. No joke. Baby chicks. He sold everything and would run it out of the post office box on the other side of the border here in the States, in a little town called Del Rio, Texas. So Wolfman Jack would go drive over the border into Mexico, right? And he would be on the air, and then he would leave and then come the next day and go back and do the gig again. There was a time when he was on the air and someone came in with a gun, right? Oh, I'm not kidding. It was a really rough time. He ended up leaving after that because he was terrified that somebody's trying to kill him. He ended up moving to the West Coast to another border blaster there, XETRA, out of San Diego. It was in Tijuana. But, oh my gosh, no, that was Rosarita. So that was Rosarita, Mexico, on the coast, just barely southwest of Tijuana, Mexico. The great Wolfman Jack, who made his legend by being on border blaster stations in Mexico. And you could hear them, guys, in Europe at night on AM radio. Wow. That's a memory, Spike. Thank you very much. Good memory. Man. The old Wolfman Jack show. Barry Wendon, when I was young, used to listen to Billy Graham. There you go. There he is. He was an advisor to 7 U.S. presidents. Did you guys know that? Billy Graham, 7 U.S. presidents, he helped advise during his lifetime. It's amazing. Andy in Bristol, same as yesterday, the Happy Station show from Radio Netherlands. You're going to like today's show, Andy. You will. I think we're caught up. Just a second. Bob says, I think the sun should chill down soon or start making stuff that gives us auroras and not just RF blackouts. That could be common to the show, It's very good. Very good. Love that. Gunter, 35 kilometers per hour, Mitt 50, and I'm can't do German well. So there you go. Can't do it. Randy, welcome. Lowell, Indiana's back. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. And Dallas says, yes, working on DX and Parks on the air, but been trying to work DX on the gray line. Good man. Keep up the good work, Dallas. We're going to make a call soon. I'm looking forward to that. I really am. That'll be fun. Robert Capone, welcome back. He's in Ocala, Florida, just north of me. November 4 Alpha X-Ray. X-Ray, love the call sign. Wow. That's a great call. Well, I'm just south of you. Just south on 301. Robert, it's nice to meet you. Wow. What an honor. Thank you for coming from Ocala today. Thank you very, very much. Let's get to that next segment. We're going to talk shortwave this week, and I'm really excited to spend that time with you. You could listen to shortwave in its heyday, let's say the 60s or 70s, on radios like this. This is a trio, which was Kenwood's line for shortwave receivers. They were called trios. This is one of those here. This is, I believe, the model number is 1, I believe. ICOM had the 700R. This was full analog, really nice looking radio, no digital yet. This was in the 60s and 70s. They also then came up with the 700R that was a digital model, but that came out in the late 70s, early 80s from ICOM. One of the legendary shortwave receivers back in the 70s, and actually this was mid 80s, was the Sony IC2010, which went on to the early 2000s. This was and is known as one of the best DXing receivers ever made. And Sony tried to up it, make it better, but this was like the best. And man, they sell for a bunch of money. In the, let's say 1957 up to about 79, 80, Zenith transoceanics were still being made. They were transistorized back then, and they came still in the big pouch with the time wheel and the map and all that stuff. Zenith was famous for shortwave receivers. And to this day, the tube sets that Zenith made, the transoceanics, I think the R700 was the last one. Those are going for like $600-700 in pristine condition. But the transistor ones, they don't go for as much money. They're just not as valuable as the Valve, UK, right? Tube sets here in the States. One of the stations that has been mentioned as being very, very popular on shortwave from back in the day is a wonderful show. It was called The Happy Station. And you may think that the station itself was branded that way. It wasn't that way at all. The Happy Station was a program, and it was on Radio Netherlands on Sundays. Here's a little segment of a show from the Happy Station where they said goodbye to their longtime host. Hope you like it. This is the final broadcast, and what they did was they thanked Eddie Starts. He was the original host of the Happy Station show.
Hello there, this is Tom Meyer. You may think that this is quite a happy piece of music. Well, of course this is Happy Station. But you might also think that there shouldn't be such happy music at an occasion which for most of you, I may say for all of you, is quite sad. The occasion of Eddie Starts' last show. But on the other hand, if you know the title of this piece of music, it's Holiday for Strings. Well, very soon it will be Holiday for Eddie Starts, and I'm sure that he will go out and enjoy that holiday. I was told that he's going to Austria first, and then possibly will be visiting his relatives in South Africa. I certainly hope for him that he can do all those things he wants to. Well, what am I here for today? To introduce to you people that you know much better than I do, because they are some of Eddie Starts' best listeners. When we finally knew that the 28th of December was going to be Eddie Starts' last Happy Station, for the time being that is, I thought it would be appropriate for some of you to have their own little say. And with the help of dear Jean Versteeg, as you call her, we here in Holland say Jean, I found some names and wrote to you and asked for a little contribution. I must say that I was very glad to receive those contributions, and that's exactly what you're going to hear today. Some of Eddie's best friends and listeners.
Go too long on these, and I'm sorry, Andy. This was important to me to play that first. The Happy Station was one of the best shows on shortwave. It was always positive. There was no politics, no news. There was nothing about bad stuff. It was music and it was lighthearted. And that one video that I just played the little snippet of is filled with all these people who were well known at the time who went to wish Eddie the best because the Happy Station meant something special to the shortwave community back in the day on Radio Netherlands. Also, yesterday, our dear Rodney mentioned a couple of shows that he used to listen to that he loved. One was on Radio Caracas. Another one, here's Rodney here. Another one was on Radio Caracas. Another one came through Bonaire. And I want to show you this. This is so cool. For hams, gosh, I've gotten bright. That means it's dark. Here comes some thunder. Sorry, guys. Let me get the brightness down a little bit. On Radio Netherlands, they were also trying to increase their footprint around the world back in the day. They had great transmitter facilities there in Europe, but they then went to move out to the Lesser Antilles, which they have possessions there in the Caribbean. So they built some towers, a lot of directional beam towers, and they brought the transmitters over. The problem was the little road that led up the mountain to where the transmitter site was just a bit narrow, and they couldn't get the crates up. So somehow, some way, they found a way to get those crates up to that building. You're going to love this video, how they solved the problem. It's amazing. Shortwave history. Rodney, I hope you like this.
Als reuzenkakteeën zijn op het Antilliaanse eiland Bonaire de masten omhoog geschoten van een tweetal nieuwe korte golfzenders die het mogelijk moeten maken de stem van Nederland in Noord-, Midden- en Zuid-Amerika luider te doen klinken. De in totaal 17 masten, waarvan de hoogste 103 meter is en die in de brosse koraalbodem een stevige fundering krijgen, worden hier gebouwd in opdracht van Radio Nederland Wereldomroep.
In die tijd waren Zuid-Amerika, Midden-Amerika, Noord-Amerika, maar vooral ook Nieuw-Zeeland en Australië hele belangrijke doelgebieden. En die konden vanuit Nederland slecht bestreken worden. In die tijd was het nog zo, de tijd van de Koude Oorlog, dat elk land had zo'n beetje zijn eigen wereldomroep. Het was niet gebruikelijk om bij andere omroepen zendtijd in te huren. En Bonaire was een uitstekende plaats, vooral ook omdat we aan alle kanten door water worden omringd. En dat is erg goed voor de uitzendingen.
The transmitters were shipped from the Netherlands to Bonaire. But when they arrived on the Caribbean island, a problem emerged on the journey to the relay station.
Die zenders die kwamen in hele grote kisten, want destijds bestonden er nog geen containers. En ze hadden inderdaad een soort van dieplader gevonden met een of andere bulldozer ervoor. En die heeft de zenders naar het station gebracht. Het enige probleem was eigenlijk dit stukje hier, want het is behoorlijk smal hier. En bij de eerste kist bleek dus dat het er niet langs kon. En daar hebben ze een paar dagen over nagedacht en gekeken of er misschien nog een andere weg was aan de achterkant van wat nu het station is, maar dat lukte allemaal niet. En toen op een hele stille zondagochtend, heel vroeg, toen heeft de toenmalige projectmanager wat dynamiet geregeld bij de Salt Company en heeft een stukje van die rots daar afgehaald.
Dat mocht?
Nee, natuurlijk niet. Vandaar die stille zondagochtend. Maar wat hij zich dus niet realiseerde, dat was dat die rots in de loop van de tijd zwart wordt. En als je daar een stuk afhaalt, dan is die wit en dat duurt een paar duizend jaar voordat hij weer zwart is. En dat is nog steeds ons aandenken. Dus als wij hier dadelijk helemaal weg zijn, dan is deze witte plek nog te aandenken aan de keer dat we hier langskwamen.
The official opening of the relay station in 1969 was attended by numerous dignitaries from the Netherlands Antilles and the Netherlands itself. Queen Juliana wasn't present, but she made herself heard.
In een tijd waarin gebrekkige communicatie meer dan ooit zo verstorend kan werken, is het van belang dat ons eigen, bewust niet propagandistisch geluid een duidelijker klankbeeld kan geven van onze inzichten, onze cultuur, onze wijze van leven.
The relay station, with two of the world's most powerful transmitters at the time, provided a big boost to Bonaire's economy.
Op dat moment bood de Wereldomroep 45 arbeidsplaatsen. En dat op een eiland waar eigenlijk alleen het zout aanwezig was met 50 arbeidsplaatsen, de textielfabriek met iets van 100 arbeidsplaatsen, meestal ongeschoold. En dat was het wel zo'n beetje. Dus de wereldomroep was buitengewoon belangrijk voor het eiland in die tijd.
Only 20 people still work at the relay station.
Op het moment waait het heel erg, dus dan komt het wel eens voor dat antennebreuk optreedt. En als je pech hebt, dan gebeurt dat bovenin, zoals vandaag. Dus dan moesten we die antenne laten zakken om wat boven gebroken is, om dat weer te repareren.
So there you go, guys.
Ja, dan hoop je dat binnen
Rodney,
een
I
dag...
hope you like that segment. The video where you can watch that's in that link credit. I hope you get a chance to watch it. Give them a thumbs up. It's really a nice video. And it talks about that Bonaire station that now is unfortunately dark. But man, Radio Netherlands is great. There's a video out there that I found completely by accident. I must share this because it's not something that I originally had searched for. But it tells a story that's oh so familiar about how we got into this incredible hobby that we call radio.
In late 1967, when I was in 5th grade, a neighbor of mine gave me a portable radio that she and her husband were no longer using. It was a very 1960s-looking radio, sort of a green and I think gold plastic scheme. The radio had 2 bands. One of them was AM, and the other one was marked SW, which I didn't know what was. Unlike most of the portable radios of this time, this one did have a telescoping antenna, which you usually would only see on an AM/FM radio, so I assumed that the other band was supposed to be FM. But if that's what it was, it surely didn't work right, because as I tuned around on this SW band, I picked up some strange stations, the first of which was this.
Listen. Okay, I'm going to stop. Can anybody identify that time signal? I heard it, and I got to tell you right away, it was like bang. I knew right away that one. Listen carefully, and then you'll, of course, get your answer. But this is iconic because the station is now dark. But man, it has such a great history in shortwave, even though it wasn't programming other than time.
In these days, radio and TV stations were not on the air 24 hours a day, and they would often play a tone when they were about to come on the air. So I interpreted these beeps as some station about to sign on. So I waited. And eventually...
CHU, Canada, Eastern Standard Time, 14 hours, 46 minutes.
14 heures, 46 minutes.
That was his instant first impression of what to find on the SW bands. Do you remember what you first did when you turned on a shortwave radio, the first things you heard? For me, it was the BBC. I was so impressed, and the signal probably came out of Canada because by that point they had a relay station up in Canada to relay BBC programming to North and South America. But it was so special to hear a foreign voice, even though it's still English, right? But this guy, Evan Doorbell, it sounds weird to say that name, but that's his YouTube channel. He does lots of different things that are technology related, like phones and communications and shortwave as well. But his shortwave content is really deep from the 70s, and it's from listening in New York City, of all places. So, Chris, if you watch this on replay, if you're watching right now, this was his basic experience in New York City, DXing shortwave, and he got deep into it. On tomorrow's show, I'm going to play a segment from him where he talks about the BBC bells. You know the bells I'm talking about? Big Ben? Oh man, I had no idea there were different parts of that Big Ben feature on the BBC. We'll do that in tomorrow's program. It's pretty neat. Also, coming up, some shows about people that maybe you might know. Moscow Mailbag, the late Joe Adamov. We got a neat segment coming up from there. And if you really love shortwave, like I do, you need to know that we have someone pretty famous coming to the channel soon. It's the great Bob Zanotti, call sign Hotel Bravo 9, Alpha Sierra, Quebec. He was on the Swiss shortwave merry-go-round. He was part of the two Bobs that was on the Swiss shortwave merry-go-round for about, I think it was 15, 20 years, up to the very end when Radio Swiss International cut the show. And Bob's going to join us and answer your questions. So send me those questions, and then we can have them ready for Bob when he joins us. And that should be in the next few weeks. We need to settle that together. And once I get the date, I'll be sure to send it to you and provide it here on the program. Bob Zanotti, I'm so honored you're coming and so grateful you're coming. And I can't wait to have a chance to spend some time with you on the program where we can answer some questions together and spend some time together here on Ham Radio Live. We celebrate a little bit of shortwave history, and boy, I can't wait for that. Looking forward to the great Bob Zanotti joining Ham Radio Live. That's going to be an awful lot of fun. The second topic question, the first time I've ever done a topic question that's got two. The second one, what shortwave countries do you miss most? What countries that you used to listen to on the shortwave bands do you really miss the most? I want to get to a few comments here that were made. First of all, Bob said there's an old transmitter site like this not too far from here. It was used for sending telegrams to Norwegian ships all across the world. That is so stinking cool. I love this comment because it really exemplifies the way communications were prior to the internet. Things were sent by HF radio. You could directionally send them and be heard anywhere in the world, providing you built the array the right direction. Thank you. Great comment, Bob. Thank you. It's a neat comment. And this one here probably got to be the comment of the show. Rodney saw his grandfather on that video of putting the towers up and doing the shortwave stuff there on the island of Bonaire. Can you imagine the feeling he just had? He sees his grandfather on video doing the work that he did that helped Rodney get the radio bug. Rodney, I'm so grateful. That makes me very happy that we got something special for you today. That's really neat. Thank you. Papa Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey. Rodney's a very good person, really good person. And Tom, with some news that just came out, I believe it was the great Dolly Parton has passed away. I'm sorry to hear that. That is a tough thing. She was quite the musician. And Dolly World too, right? Remember Dolly World? Man, oh man. Don, welcome. He's in Texas. Welcome back, Don. It's good to see you. November 5 Sierra Kilo Tango. He's got a 65-foot and a 49-foot carbon fiber mast, several PC parts he needed, and some connectors. And knowing Don, everything works brilliantly. Don, good to see you and welcome back. Thanks, buddy. Chris Evan is here. He says, we saw you live at Huntsville Hamfest being interviewed. Send that to me. We'll show it on the show. Love to do that. Love to do that. That would be a lot of fun. There's another couple of comments here I missed. Bill, I like listening to Over the Horizon Radio on WRMI. In fact, I have quite a few EQSL cards from the show. Thank you, and you're welcome. Thank you. You honor me. Thank you. Just a little show that I do on shortwave. Thank you, Bob. Bill. Sorry. It's very nice to say. And Bob, I like this. He said, thanks. I've been here before once or twice, I think. Yes, and it's good to see you back. That's an honor to me. Thank you very, very much. Chris Evan, I like the Berlin TV tower. Had a meal there and it was revolving, I think, or maybe that was the wine. No, probably revolving. Seattle has the same thing. On top of the Space Needle, they have a restaurant that rotates and an antenna at the top, flagpole up there too. Yeah. And we're still waiting for poor Boulder, Colorado to get a maximum usable frequency. We can hope. And if I've missed your comments, guys, it's totally unintentional. I don't mean to do that. There's quite a few comments to get to on the program today. I want to get to, and I did get the clap for the Wolfman. Thank you, sir. Bob says, my favorite old radio sets are either Radio Net or Tandberg Holdra kits. I've never heard of either one of those. And I want to take a look online. I'll find that. Bob, thank you very much. That's really neat. Love to find that. So I need to take a look after the show is over. That would be good. Let me see here. Tom, I still remember the old full-size furniture-size shortwave radio tuner that had the names of the stations and countries on the tuning glass. The old radio sat on the enclosed porch. You know, those were the days, man. I mean, I have a 47 Philco Cathedral radio out in our living room, and it has those. I'll share a picture of it on the show tomorrow, just to give you a memory. The radio still works. The tubes still fire up and the radio still works. Although the cord that plugs it in is a little bit sketchy, just a bit. So I'm a little nervous when plugging that in. I don't know that I'll do that. Tom also says, been to an old BBC shortwave relay station site just after closed down on Masaraya Island, India Ocean, off the coast of Oman. Now that would be cool. That would be something I would really love to see. Do you have any pictures? Would you send them, Tom? If you have any photos from that, send me. I'd love to share those on the program. I really would, because BBC had so many relay stations around the world to retransmit their signals. And something Bob Zanotti said from the Two Bobs program on Radio Swiss International, he said, you know, people aren't, when there's an emergency or something bad has happened, they're not out there with the internet. They're out there listening on the radio. And in a lot of respects, he's right. I think he's very right, for sure. Wow. That's a neat comment. Thank you for that, Tom. And let me make sure here. Brad has joined us and Petersburg is back. Good to see you and welcome to you, sir. Let's see here. I think we got everybody here. Let's see. Tom, our history teacher would play a segment each week from BBC World News recorded over the weekend. Lots of QS Baker on those broadcasts. For people who are new to ham radio, QS Baker, that's fading, so took right off the air. Yeah, and there were two kinds of fading back then. Remember on shortwave? Because you had like selective fading, and then you had fading from, the ionosphere, because it's going through at different paths. You have to remember the signals from shortwave, they weren't necessarily linear, coming through like an arrow and then refracting back the same way. Think of them like a signal coming up and hitting the ionospheric charge from the ionosphere, which were little particles right up in the ionosphere. And then as it refracts down, those signals come down in pieces rather than linear, okay? So when your station would come in on your radio, it was being heard from more than one path. That was called selective fading. It's how shortwave sounded. It's part of the joy and fun stuff of shortwave. I love that stuff. Man, that's a good thing, Tom. You brought back a good memory, fading on shortwave. Jay, welcome. He says, first for me, we're HM01 and Whiskey Victor. We call it WWV. Wow, good memory. Thank you. I remember the first time, I got to tell you this funny story. My mom, my poor mother, she put up with me as a kid, which was like she deserved a medal. But anyway, my poor mom, she had heart problems really bad. She had rheumatic fever as a child, right? And unfortunately, when she was pregnant with me, she went into heart failure and they had to do some work on her aortic valve. And anyway, the main part of the story, when I got interested in shortwave at about, gosh, I was like 10. It's about 1973, 74, right? And I had listened to WWV. I didn't yet quite grasp what coordinated universal time was and what that meant, but the sound of that, the noise that the station made. Oh, my mom, she got so mad after a while. Turn that thing off, or go in another room and listen to that. It sounds like the heart-lung machine that was at the hospital keeping me alive. Oh, man. Oh. And I was 10 or around that age. And at that point, you're being a little brat and you turn it up and walk around. Oh, I was so bad. Oh, I should have been so much nicer to my mom sometimes. Yikes. But there you go. Bob says, on an unrelated note, I got a great story today. I found my baptism gift from my grandfather. That was a cigarette case he got as a thanks for being a captain during the Dunkirk evacuation. History. Wow. Wow. No kidding. Oh, man. So what do we do? I mean, that's for comedy of the show, that's hard to not get it, right? But then Rodney saw his grandfather on the Radio Netherlands Bonaire video. Man, I think we should give to both of them now. Jeez. So it's going to Norway and it's going to the Netherlands today. No kidding. My goodness. Oh, that's quite a story. Dunkirk. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, it's been fun today. I've enjoyed being with you. Here's the Angry Hams.
I wonder how they do that.
Do what?
Okay. Question 1. How many times can a person take the license test for any level? Okay. So how many times can you take a license test? A is 5 times, B 3, C, there's no limit, or D, twice. A, B, C, or D, this is question 1 of 3. Good luck, everybody. Oh my goodness, that's great stuff. How many times can you take the license? This is pretty easy. I've given you a softball lob here. Rodney, Pop Alpha 9 Romeo Whiskey first up. PSC, there is no limit. And of course, that's correct. There's no limit. Rodney, 141. Nice job. Yes. And Bill also was C. Tom, today is a real epic episode, Larry. Thank you. It's much better than yesterday. Mike, yes, thank you. Andy and Aloysius, welcome back. It's good to see you. Man, it's been a minute. Welcome back to the show. It's an honor to have you back. Barry with C, also Chris 7. Tom's got C and Bob C in Norway, or until the guy holding the tests stops answering your calls. It's actually pretty funny. Second question. Which assassinated Indian prime minister was an amateur radio operator? Was it A, Mahatma Gandhi, B, Jawaharlal, I'm going to say it wrong, J.N., that'll help, C, Rajiv Gandhi, or was it D, Narasimha Rao? A, B, C, or D, there was one Indian prime minister who was assassinated but was a ham. Good luck. Question 2 today. Rodney, thank you. Next question. Mike, actually, it's B in one setting, but C is the correct answer. That's true. Absolutely true. I felt so bad during my test. The guy next to me missed the technician by 1. Oh my gosh, by 1. And I was like, oh, that poor guy. I feel so bad. And I'm taking the next test. Oh, excuse me, guys. Thanks. I needed a drink. That's very helpful. All right. Second question. Let's see. Bill first up. Kilo Alpha 8 Golf India. Mike has C. Andy Cowley in the UK's got D. Mike's guessing C. Barry with D. So we're really at that C and D level. Andy's got B. Aloysius C, because you pronounced that one right. Well, I could be giving it away then, and I think he got it right. Unbelievable. Yeah. See, because I pronounced that one correctly. That's funny. And he's right, too. Oh, that's funny. We're going to give him first on that, too, with Bill, because it's interesting. It's kind of like a third base coach tipping off the batter to the signs there. Yeah. Yeah, it's C, Rajiv Gandhi. And here's a picture. This was him. He loved ham radio. Unfortunately, gone early because, someone killed him. Dumb, terrible thing. Rodney, actually, E, no idea. I do like the butter chicken, though. Stop it. Last question. Which space shuttle carried Owen Garriott, Whiskey 5 Lima Foxtrot Lima, into space? Was it the Space Shuttle Discovery, B, the Endeavour, C, Columbia, or D, the Challenger? Last question. A, B, C, or D? Go get them. Good luck. Owen Garriott was so well loved as a ham because he took ham radio into space. And, instead of working a satellite, you worked Owen Garriott, astronaut on the space shuttle. It was a big deal in amateur radio. And Garriott was really good with handing out QSL cards. He would send them out to people because it was so important to people to have that card. Can you imagine being one of the people that got one of those? Man, what a card to cherish. Oh, my. Andy Cowley from the United Kingdom. First up, he's got B, the Endeavour. No. Aloysius 73 second. He's got Columbia. Barry Wynn has got B, the Endeavour. Chris 7 with A, the Discovery. Rodney's got Columbia. Bill says, I don't know, but I'll guess Columbia. Andy's got Discovery. This is not easy, but he was actually on the Columbia. Yeah, he was on the Space Shuttle Columbia, and that's where he opened up the ham radio and made history. Aloysius, you did it. Well done. Nice job, man. First one to get that one correct. This is really kind of a melancholy story. Garriott did well and made history for hams. The Columbia was just a second, guys. This is going to drive me nuts. Thank you. Sorry about that. The Columbia made history as the thunder rolls outside. It was the first space shuttle that lifted off from Cape Kennedy. It was STS-1 back on April 12th of 1981. The Columbia had many, many missions into space, and it also was the shuttle that broke apart into pieces over Texas as it was trying to land back in Florida on February the 1st, 2003. Unfortunately, when it launched, some of the frost and stuff that was on the fuel tank had hit the wing section underneath the spacecraft, right where the heat shield was, knocked some of the heat shield away, and it was doomed. And that's when NASA went through a full check, changed everything, and that was how it happened. The Columbia was the one that burned up on reentry. The Challenger, of course, happened as it lifted off. After it lifted off off the launch pad and then got in the air and exploded. Lost 2 of them and some great people along with it. This is the first time I feel like I'm almost like in a letterbox video. There was 2 topic questions today. The first one is the top one. What were some of your favorite shortwave shows? I've mentioned Moscow Mailbag a lot. Radio Moscow. The news, yeah. It was just It was their opinion of America, you know, in the 70s and 80s, and I got it. It's propaganda. I knew that, but I loved Moscow Mailbag. It was just neat, and I'll share one of those segments with you coming up. I also loved Radio Australia because they played pop music. They were the only ones on shortwave I heard that did that, other than there was time that Radio Netherlands also played some popular music too, so that was kind of neat. The shortwave countries I miss, boy, it's really rolling. Sorry, it's really thundering out there. I do miss Radio Australia a lot. I do miss Radio Swiss International now that I wish I could have heard more of the Swiss shortwave merry-go-round. And I also miss Radio Netherlands. They were special. I mean, man, those were losses. Those hurt. I mean, we lost Radio Netherlands, and it felt like the clock was ticking on Radio Australia, and they kept going. And remember, they went off, I think it was 2013, they went off, but then they returned. They came back, they were funded again, they came back, and then in 2017, they went dark again. And I think the world was a better place with them on the air. You know, they started, everyone had their interval signal, which was always cool, right? Like I've played the interval signal before on the show that we talked about shortwave interval signals. One of those, here's the one for Radio Swiss International. Listen. And the sound would just repeat until they were ready to start programming or go to the next segment or go off and close down. I missed that stuff. You know, Radio Australia was cool because they'd play Waltzing Matilda, and then you'd hear the sounds of Australia after that. It was iconic. I mean, it was perfect, Australia. It was just so well done. Second topic question, what shortwave countries do you miss most? Definitely Australia, Holland. Let's see. I miss Radio Canada. Man, Radio Canada was pretty good, guys. They were not bad. Rodney got me listening a little bit to Radio Caracas. I heard a little bit, but we're going to play that another day this week. There you go, Rodney. I got your back. I don't know if I got your show, but I got a little bit of Radio Caracas for you. And I kind of miss those old days, right? Neat stuff. Would have liked to have spent maybe a few more hours at the shortwave radio. If you'd like to get your ham license, the Radio Society of Great Britain would love to help you. Reach out to them at www.rsgb.org. Just click on the contact part of their page and tell them you'd like to get your ham radio license. They will then contact you back with a local to you ham club. Make sure and contact that club. They're going to help you get licensed. www.rsgb.org to the Radio Society of Great Britain to help get your ham radio license. Comment of the show. Man, oh man, oh man. This is a tough one. Let me get final comments. I got a couple to share with you. I do. You guys, Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon next to Chewbacca. Don in Texas, Owen Garriott, father of Richard Garriott. Richard is a famous game designer and bought a ticket into space on the Russian rocket. I think the only father-son in space. How cool would that be, right? Man, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And yeah, the white fuel tank. Oof. Tom had a wisdom tooth being pulled when the Columbia broke apart. Can't forget that. Chris Evan, I had a space shuttle flight sim once. Too many knobs and buttons on that darn thing. Rodney, fun fact, Garriott made history on this flight by operating an amateur ham radio from space. Yeah, that's what I said. Did you not listen to the show? Come on, Rodney. I'm here to help. Oh my gosh. Rodney, thanks for being. Andy, thank you for coming too. Rodney says, by the way, Larry, there are talks over here to recommission and put a shortwave station on the air here, driven by the current war. I wish, he says, I don't know, however, it's going to be Radio Netherlands. I wish it was, because they were the first. Radio Netherlands was the first country broadcaster on shortwave. They were first. Man. Barry, thanks for coming. Gulf 6 Juliet Mike X-Ray, along with Mike and Aloysius. Rodney, thanks for dropping the link. I think that's all of them, and the Ham Club too. Thank you. Comment of the show. Guys, we got to give it to 2. I don't know how we can't. I mean, there's 2 really good comments on this program. And one of the things that I really enjoy is sharing your comments, because you guys, you guys make the show pretty darn special. Without you, it wouldn't be a show at all. So thank you for your comments. First up would have to go to Rodney. And this is part of like what he said. And this was the video we played about building the towers and the transmission there, transmission line at the station at Bonaire for Radio Netherlands. Rodney saw his grandfather there, who has passed away, but it was Rodney's grandfather who gave Rodney the love of radio as a child and got him going. Rodney says, I did not know he used to control and design the antennas, but I did not know he was there. Also, Rodney said right here, yo, I saw my grandfather. Rest in peace. Probably one of the best moments we'll have on this program. Rodney, thank you. Comment of the show. Very much so. Also, Bob with a comment that was really a great comment as well. He said, and he didn't realize this is this important. I'm going to share just a little skosh at the end to explain why. On an unrelated note, I got a great story today. I found my baptism gift from my grandfather. So his grandfather hands something down to him. All right. That was a cigarette case he got as a thanks for being a captain during the Dunkirk evacuation. When World War II was going on in the earlier part of the war, and the British Army was pushed to the shores of Dunkirk, the British people were in a real pickle because the German army was getting close. They could destroy the leftover, the British troops that were now up against the coast at Dunkirk. And the British, through the help of word of mouth and the great Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, sent the little boats, all these fishing boats and trawlers, anything that could float and reliably get to France and back was used to bring troops back to Great Britain to save their lives. The great journey of the little boats to save all of those troops that they could at Dunkirk was a miracle. And to get a cigarette case that was given as a gift for being a captain of one of those boats, that's a priceless gift. And it's got to be comment of the show as well. Bob, thank you. That's just total history right there. The little ships. Man, oh man. Bob, thank you for coming. Same with Dawn. Everyone else, thank you so much for being on Ham Radio Live today. Enjoy these commercials. They're pretty cool. A new sign-off as well today. Wherever you may be, my name's Larry Dio. My call sign in amateur radio is Kilo 7 Hotel November. God bless you. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh no, George is driving. He's too wasted. I should say something, but I could look dumb in front of Monique. Bro, Monique says you're dumb, but if he crashes, I'll have to live with his family.
Puzzle time.
And if he dies, Ghost George will haunt me forever.
Grab a chip. Want a chip?
You know I can't grab your ghost chips. Go away.
Spoon.
Space heat?
Bro, Willie, what are you doing, bro? Oh, I've been internalizing a really complicated situation in my head.
What are you on about?
I don't think you should drive.
Nah.
Nah, you're too drunk, bro. Just crash here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Stop a mate from driving drunk. Legend.
Is that it?
Huh? Oh.
Ah!
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good, eh, bro? Go again.
Okay.
Ah!
There
How
you
you
go.
do it? I think it's all in the neck. Do it one more time. Ah! God.
No, go like this. Like that. Alright, alright. Okay, ready?
Oh!
Yeah. See? See how weird like that?
Nick agility,
Yeah.
cuz. What? Nick agility. You're last man. Come on.
Yeah, you try it. Nah.
Come on.
Try again.
Harder, bro. You need to do it harder.
Can you
eh?
do it?
Go and do mine again, then.
That hurt.
No. It sounded hard.
Sharpen up.
No.
Left plus.
The time is 12 midnight on 3LO Melbourne and regional stations 3GI Gippsland, 3WV Western Victoria, 3WL Warrnambool, 2CO Albury and the shortwave transmitter VLR6 on 6.15 megacycles, 48.78 metres is closing down. 3LO and regionals will reopen at 6 o'clock this morning. For the Australian Broadcasting Commission in Melbourne, this is Mary Adams wishing you all a very good night.
That's all, folks.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.